We're stuffing our faces with sushi and then planning to take a real good nap. Also, we're bears! Rawr. That's right, it's KATMAI, the bears of Brooks River from Osprey Games. Winter is coming, and that means it's almost hibernation time for the brown bears of Southwest Alaska. But before these 24 real-life bears can hunker down for their nap, they've gotta eat. And so it's time to do some fishing. In this 2-player game, you'll play bear cards from your hand next to river tiles, vying for dominance over the most desirable fishing spots. Place out beeples, that's a bear meeple obviously, to fulfill objectives and catch salmon. The player with the most salmon at the end of the game wins. To set up KATMAI, arrange the river tiles in a single row between both players. Make sure the tiles all follow the same direction of flow indicated by this symbol. River tiles are divided into 4 spaces, each with their own type of fishing feature: deep pool, shallows, waterfall, eddy, or rocks. More on those shortly. Each player chooses a bear deck, either cinnamon or sandy. Bear cards feature a name and picture of a real-life Alaskan bear, a dominance value, and might contain a special ability and possibly a sow icon, which means that's a mama bear that can have some cubs. Each player also takes 12 beeples, 24 salmon tokens, and a bear cub token matching their deck. My mother-in-law says salmon. Next, set up the objective cards. For a slightly lighter game, use the side of the cards with this symbol. Choose a letter A through H, we'll choose B for bears. Find the 4 objective cards labeled with the chosen letter and place them face up at the upstream end of the river. If you'd like a slightly more challenging game, use the side of the objective cards with this symbol. Randomly select 3 cards showing a single diamond, 2 showing a double diamond, and 1 showing a triple diamond. Then place them face up at the upstream end of the river. Finally, take the initiative token. This is the paw side for obvious reasons, and this is the na side, because is there a paw on it? No. To determine the first player, one of you will flip this token and the other will call out paw or na while it's in the air. If it lands on the side that was called out, the caller outer takes the initiative token, and if it doesn't, the token flipper takes it. The game is played over a series of rounds, and each round is made up of 4 phases: prepare, play cards, place beeples and catch salmon, and clean up. In the prepare phase, each player shuffles their 12 bear cards to form their deck. Players then take the top 2 cards of their deck and without looking at them, remove them from the round. This adds a little mystery to the game, a little je ne sais quoi bear stuff. Next, players draw 2 more cards from the top of their decks, but this time they get to keep them and look at them. In the play cards phase, the player who has the initiative token chooses one of the cards in their hand and plays it face down against a tile on their side of the river. Then the other player takes one of their cards and plays it face down against a tile on their side of the river. Then the players both reveal their played cards at the same time. If either of the revealed cards has a special ability icon with this lightning bolt symbol, the ability is immediately resolved. If both players reveal a bear with an immediate ability, the player with the initiative token gets to resolve theirs first. Once all immediate abilities are resolved, each player draws a new card to replenish their hand size back to 2. If a player has the initiative token, they can give it to their opponent at the start of their turn. Whoever has the token has to choose and play their bear card first. Sometimes you want to be the one to play first, and sometimes you want to be able to react. You know, with those lightning quick salmon catching reflexes. Bam! Also, heads up, if you've just been given the initiative token, you can't give it back until your next turn. Otherwise, we could find ourselves in an infinite loop of initiative token passing, and we don't have time for that. We've got fish to catch. The play cards phase continues like this, playing cards face down, then revealing simultaneously, resolving any immediate abilities, and drawing a new card until both players have placed all 10 cards on their side of the river, keeping in mind that each river tile can only hold a maximum of 3 cards from each player. Once all the cards have been played, move on to the next phase, place beeples and catch salmon. It's time to determine which bears are the most large and in charge, river-wise. Starting with the river tile that's the furthest upstream, each player will add all the dominance value of their cards played at that river tile. keeping in mind any red abilities that might affect the bear's dominance. Whoever has the highest total dominance may place one of their beeples on any unoccupied space on that tile. If there's a tie, players should check to see if any of their played cards have the sow icon. If so, they can choose to place their bear cub token on that card to break the tie once per round. That's mine. If both players played a card with the sow icon, the player with the initiative token is the first to choose whether to place their bear cub token. If they pass, the other player can then choose to place their bear cub. If no tokens get placed, the tie remains and neither player places a beeple on that river tile. Whenever placing a beeple, players also check to see if they've caught any salmon. Check the objective cards to see if the beeple satisfies any of their requirements. If it does, place salmon tokens on that objective card. How many salmon tokens placed is indicated at the top of each card, 1, 2, or 3. A beeple may be used to satisfy more than one type of objective, but can never score for the same type of objective more than once. If the objective card shows a fishing feature icon, players can score a bonus salmon. If one of the beeples used to meet the objective is on the matching fishing feature, place an additional salmon token on the card. Repeat this process of placing beeples and catching salmon for each river tile, moving from upstream to downstream until you reach the end of the river. Finally, in Phase 4, clean up. Players take back their bear cub token and bear cards, including the 2 set aside at the start. Beeples stay right where they are for the next round. The game ends in one of 2 ways. If at the end of the cleanup phase, one player has placed at least 4 more beeples than their opponent, they win immediately. Or if a player has 2 or fewer beeples left in their supply, move on to end game scoring. To calculate scores, first check to see if any objective card has this crown symbol. If so, score it now, assigning salmon tokens accordingly. Then add up the total salmon tokens each player has on all objective cards. The player with the highest number of salmon wins and doesn't go hungry today. If there's a tie, the player who placed the most beeples wins. If there's still a tie, every bear ate their fill and you both win. And that's the Bear Necessities of KATMAI, the Bears of Brooks River from Osprey Games. I'm Becca Scott. This is Good Time Society, and you can get your fill of great games and good times by subscribing to this channel. Now me and Cinnamon gotta go take a long nap for the winter. Bye-bye.